Todd Kalman, by the ownership group, by this fan base, and they responded, and probably CHL hockey aside gave their most consistent 60-minute performance of the season. Intense forecheck, turning over pucks, creating scoring opportunities, and it will need a similar effort tonight against, as you say, a dangerous opponent in the Coventry Blaze, who really, if they want to progress in this competition, have to lay it all on the line tonight.
One of those key things which showed signs of life with the special teams. They've been a real struggle for the Devils this season, but it just seemed as though things were turning the corner.
Yeah, and I was interested to see Paul Crowder, in terms of his ice time, just went up significantly last week, particularly on the power play, and I think he's a good playmaker, and watch for him to play down low and look to set up guys on the second unit of the power play. But all in all, you're absolutely right, all facets of the game last week, Al, much improved from the Cardiff Devils, and special teams have been an issue this season, and for the Blaze, we discussed it before the game, in the league their special teams are hurting, but in the Challenge Cup their power play is strong and going at around 33%.
The Blaze, they can mathematically still qualify. It's a big stretch for them though, and big win against Edinburgh midweek though. Danny Stewart wasn't happy with their loss against Dundee prior to that, but then they bounced back. In some ways, I suppose, they're more dangerous tonight.
Well, they've got a little bit of confidence from Wednesday night. I admire our counterpart and friend Ed Kimberley for that interview he had to do with Danny last Saturday. And it was a great interview, full of emotion. And Danny Stewart was saying these teams are doing little things right, but just not scoring goals. Well, Wednesday night they scored 7 goals, and you've got to think that's going to breed a little bit of confidence. And people like Ryan Dingle, Brett Robinson, they got on the score sheet, and if those guys start to play, the Coventry Blaze certainly do become a more dangerous outfit.
And they've got a good mix as well of some players that are experienced in this league, some high quality as well, a few high-end draft picks there as well, and some fine goaltending.
Some fine goaltending. You look at Nastyuk, drafted by Carolina. Last season he had the best save percentage in DEL2. He's a DEL champion. He can provide a foundation for them to win any game, and we've already seen people like Clochane and Valorant up top so far this season. They can put points on the board.
We're going to take a slight pause just in a moment while the anthem is sung and all the pomp and pageantry goes on now, but we'll be back with live coverage of Cardiff Devils against Coventry Blaze in crucial Challenge Cup action coming up in just a moment.
My hen wlad fan hatayan anoili me, glad by the cantorion walkion o free. I could all revelwin, glad garwich amat, dros raddith cochlasant, I quite glad, plaid your oivim glad, tramor and vir, it been hof by, or bad than it any height by.
Ben Bounds will start in goal for the Cardiff Devils. In Challenge Cup action, he's got a 2.99 goals against average with a .910 save percentage. Kevin Nastyuk has a 5.02 goals against average, 84.4 save percentage, but he's a far better goalie than that, and has put in some stellar performances in league play. But this cup competition is always a bit strange, isn't it? Early season, we see some strange results, John, and it's not really an indicator of form in general.
It's not, but stepping away from the hockey and talking about the business model, we know that the Elite League is a is a bums-on-seat type business model, and clubs probably budget to get through to the next round of the Challenge Cup. Certainly these two would look at that, the Devils and the Blaze, and factor that into their recruitment and so forth. So yeah, early season form can be a little bit of a problem in this competition, but for the guys who crunch the numbers, it's extremely important that the club gets those extra games, that extra revenue, and that's why Coventry Blaze, you suspect, will be playing with a lot of desperation tonight, as will the Cardiff Devils, because they are by no means certain to go through. So this is going to be a lively and fun encounter.
Referee is Michael Hicks, and I say referee. It may be soon that we say referees. We'll maybe discuss that a little bit in the one of the period breaks. The linesman Matt Rose and James Irons. So here we go, underway. It's going to be the big line for the Coventry Blaze. They're probably going to go with 3 lines tonight with the number of forwards they have. We'll talk about maybe some of the scratches for both sides when we get a chance to, but it's going to be Robinson, Valorand and Petrus there. Petrus and Valorand have struck up a nice combination. They might get a chance here. Valorand shoots, good save from Ben Bounds. Early on, chance for Petrus. He steps inside, shoots again. Fine save with the left pad there. And the Devils start a little unsure there, but now they get a chance on the break, and it's with Matt Pope. Gets that inside to Joey Martin. They go 2-on-1, but it was just out of reach there. Bryce Reddick, who jumped into the play. And Valorand has got to work hard there, but he lost out to Pope out front, and it was well saved. Short side, another try out front there, that time from Sean Bentivolio. So a couple of chances at both ends. Reddick will send that one back in, and now Sean Bentivolio gets a hold of it, and we'll go back to the point where Andrew Hotham is. Hotham sends it in again, and it's taken away by Kevin Noble out front. Nice defensive play from him.
Oh, we got our first penalty on the play, and you suspect referees across the league will be calling games pretty tight this weekend after the events of this week. And it's the Blaze who are penalised first. And it's Brett Robinson, player assistant coach this year, of course, who goes to the box for a holding call. Great start to the game, scoring chances at both ends. Just from the Coventry Blaze perspective, it is desperation hockey, and they created a good scoring chance, but they can't look to win this game too early in the sense that committing too many players and leaving space in behind, because although they got a good scoring chance, there was immediately a 2-on-1 break with Martin and Reddick. So whilst the Blaze have got to play a little bit desperate, they don't want to be out of this one before they're in it.
So the Blaze penalty kill is very good in Challenge Cup action, around 86%. The Devils power play is marginally better, around 15%. Andrew Lord will want to improve on that though. Anyway, they go to work here. Drew Parris scored a goal in the fixture in Coventry in the Challenge Cup from the blue line on the power play, but he just can't handle that puck there, and it'll get pushed around the boards now with Bentivolio, but he has a little bit of pressure on him from Venus. Myers goes inside, might be a chance out front, but it was taken away. Bentivolio will step in as the Blaze have collapsed very low in front of Kevin Nastjuk. It's there now for Paris with the blast, but it whistled wide that time. Now out front, Bentivolio. Good takeaway play though from Ross Venus, but the Devils keep it in. 1:19 left on this power play. Sent out front, but again a fine bit of work there, and that one is cleared by Ryan Dingle.
Yeah, but the Devils looking good on that power play, and as you say, the Blaze collapsing down low, which can be a little dangerous when you got Drew Parris on that blue line. He's going to look to let that shot go.
Stepping inside was Gleeson Fournier, and he almost had another wonder goal there, but it was taken away from him. Now it's with Ben Bounds. 54 seconds left on this power play for the Devils. Lane Ulmer got it to Joey Martin, but that one didn't work on the blue line, and Wojtek Claus got a chance to get it away, but not deep enough, and Gleeson Fournier can look to start the play. Martin with a bit of speed, and that's left off for Matt Pope. Now sent inside, tipped out front, fine save Nastjuk there as he stopped the Devils going 1-0 up.
Beautiful zone entry by the Devils, great save by Nastjuk there, but that pass came from Paul Crowder, and I think Paul Crowder is starting to find his legs now, and his vision is an underrated part of his game, or perhaps just a part of the game we haven't seen so much in Cardiff because he's been playing maybe third line, fourth line hockey, a defensive forward. This guy's got a real offensive upside.
So it's Petrus there, but he lost out on the draw, and the Devils will go to work. They go D to D with Gleeson Fournier. Over the far side is Matt Pope. He's got a bit of room, and Petrus is working hard, but through traffic it goes. Another fine save, Nastjuk. There was a good screen from Joey Martin. That's a bit of luck for the Blaze there. Good positioning too from Petrus, and it goes all the way out with 15 seconds left on this first power play opportunity for the Cardiff Devils. Taken away well by Valorand. Valorand will look to step inside, gets a shot away, but it was wide of the right post of Ben Bounds. Good bump with Valorand and Martin there, and he kills penalties well too, as Valorand with a nice hit as well. He's the leading scorer, and he looks to play an active role in this penalty kill too. A valuable player, no doubt, for coach Danny Stewart. Wojtek Klaus will get a hold of the puck with a lead pass, and in go the Blaze into the zone, but that gets taken away, and now at speed goes Mark Lewis playing on forward with Josh Batch and Lane Ulmer, but Andrew Lord will step in for the time being while the lines sort themselves out after the power play. Here come the Blaze, 3-on-3, winding and firing there was Brett Robinson, but it was wide of bounds. That one goes wide of bounds too, as Dax Lowers felt a big body hit there from Mark Lewis, who seems to enjoy playing on forward. He's done it a lot in his career, and he won't hesitate to throw the big body.
Just a moment ago, we saw a lovely dish from Cochane to Stewart, who just fired wide. Looking forward to seeing the number 41 for Coventry tonight. Lots of points in the DEL, known as a very skillful playmaker. I would suggest he's going to be the standout player for the Blaze.
Minnesota draft pick as well, Adam Cochane, 9 years in the DEL too. That one gets sent through, and it'll stay in the zone as Craig Moore will go to work. The Devils, another mix and match line after the power play. Jake Morissette, hat-trick last week, got it out front to Paul Crowder, but he couldn't get a hold of it. Good play from David Clements it was, and he has the puck now. Clements, though, can't get it deep. A little bit of an assist, perhaps, from the linesman on the far side, and that one hopped over the stick of Kevin Nastya. Stepping into the play is Gleason Fournier, just around the boards that one goes, and now working hard to retain is Matt Pope. Hustle and bustle there, and that's some Gustav Arnalov will get that taken away from him, but the Blaze almost had a chance, but they lost out in the neutral zone, and the Devils will come again. Close checking game in the neutral zone so far, John, and right now it's perhaps the Devils a little bit more puck possession, but finding it tough to get some good zone time.
It's a good game so far. Both teams know what's on the line, and both teams need that win, and it's a fast-paced game. We've had scoring chances already, a lot of physical contact, particularly in the neutral zone, as you say, Al. So we're settling in for what looks like a really good encounter here tonight.
And you think the pace may benefit the Devils, who are still rolling 4 lines despite missing a number of bodies tonight. Andrew Lord is good in the face-off circle. He wins the draw there. Sent out front, it was tipped and it just went wide of Kevin Nastya in goal. Bentivoglio there, so Lord is there now with Bentivoglio and Joey Martin, just mixing things up. They go against the Blazes' third line. Out front, chance, big save, what a fine save that time from Nastya, who started well there. But the Devils stay in the zone, but that's a good play on the far side, and the Blaze will get out.
Al, you mentioned the Devils' depth with the 4 scoring lines, or the 4 forward lines. We were talking before the game. Devils going with 5 defensemen, and maybe that's a little bit of a blessing for the Cardiff Devils, because it gives people like Andrew Hotham and Gleason Fournier a bit more ice time, and those guys can really skate, really create plays. So the Devils going with 5 D-men, you think they're short, but it might be beneficial for them.
Joey Martin just got there. Wojtek Klaus is under pressure and felt a big crunch there from Mark Lewis, and he's a big body, is Klaus, but Lewis is one of the players who can go with him, and that's a nice hit from Josh Batch on Kevin Noble. The crowd liked that one, but that's a good play from Jordan Petrus, and he's so good at both ends of the ice. Got it up to Valorand, and he lost out there to Andrew Hotham, but the Blaze get it back.
I've got to admit it, Al, when I saw this line together last week, Lewis, Batch and Ulmer reminded me of Jansen, Lawrence and Myers, the Nottingham Panthers' 4th line from a couple of years ago. So effective.
Robinson, nice play inside. Petrus with a chance, looks to pull a move, they score! Jordan Petrus went through, it got banked in off a Devil. The Blaze go 1-0 up.
I think that comes back off Josh Batch. Ben Bounds makes the save, but credit to Petrus, he just continues to drive to that net, and in the commotion, I think it's Josh Batch who puts the puck into his own net. The Devils were looking to lay hits. That was a good shift up until that point, but it was they that left space in behind. A lovely feathered pass into Petrus driving towards the net, and Ben Bounds did the first part of that, getting the poke check, but as the puck was ricocheting around, pinballing around, it was Josh Batch who put it into his own net, and just the start the Coventry Blaze wanted. They've now got something to build on. That's
Jordan Petrus' 4th goal in 5 Challenge Cup games. He's on a tear. He's 6 points from, well, 7 points now in his 5th game, and he was 6 from 4 coming into this one, so a good start from the Blaze captain. Matthew Myers then gets that around the boards. David Clements has work to do and will take a bump from Luke Piggott for his troubles, but Garrett Ladd now has got to work up against Andrew Hotham, and Hotham won the battle. Out front it goes, shot fired in, it deflected, all sorts of like a ping pong ball out there, but it stays out of Nastchuk's net. Moore steps inside. Good block out front again. Ryan Dingle putting his body on the line. It stung a little, but he made a nice play, did the veteran X5 Flyers captain, of course, and he's got AHL and Italian experience too. That one is now with Andrew Hotham again. But he got it taken away from him, and away they go. Nice play from Garrett Ladd, and then well played from Corshane, but they go offside there as Garrett Ladd was a little too eager to get into the zone.
Well, we talked about confidence for the Blaze. They did come off a disappointing loss against Dundee last Saturday, but they regrouped with an overtime win off a long bus journey to Scotland to Dundee on Sunday night. That goal-laden win against the Edinburgh Capitals, 7 goals, so they broke their scoring drought. Getting the first goal in this game, it just continues to build that confidence, build that momentum. Danny Stewart's got to be a happy coach right now.
Fournier pulled a nice move in his own zone, and the Devils managed to get that one up along the boards. Here's Jake Morissette, who will just backhand that one in. Big bump there from Paul Crowder, who's easing into his role here at the Devils and playing some good physical hockey with a big body. Now Fournier steps in, but Michael Hicks just got in his way a little there, and the puck will get out of the zone. Crowder did well, and Fournier gets it back and just dangles a little, and Crowder can go to work again, but too much pressure there from Onilov, and that one goes out of the zone. Now can the Blaze do something here? This third line, Ferrara though has started on a tear this year, but he gets just pushed out of the play well there on the back check from Bryce Reddick. Andrew Lord with a nice play in his own zone, gets it up to Crowder, who does get it out, but that's a nice shift from that third line again. Venus, Ferrara and Ben Lake there. Doing a good job for Danny Stewart. Here is Ross Venus, one of the best British defensive forwards in the league, certainly. He plays that role with aplomb, one of the finest penalty killers. Here's Ferrara, who seized his chance here at Coventry as well, John.
He's already upped his point on the last his points production on the last 2 seasons for the Steelers. He's going for 11 on the season. Of course, he's got 2 Elite League championships under his belt with the Sheffield Steelers. So whilst young and whilst a Brit, he brings us a winning experience, a winning mentality to the Blaze franchise.
And he's doing a fine job so far. The Blaze go back to Valorant. He made a nice play, but that was good work from Matt Pope just to slow it down. Wojtek Kloss did well, and the Blaze can establish themselves in the offensive zone. Through traffic, it was tipped again. Bounds didn't know too much about it, but it stayed wide, and we are going to get a call here. Yeah, I thought it might have been a high stick, so it'll come out of the zone. No call on the play. Neutral zone face-off. And
the Blaze look good after that goal. It has given them a little bit of a boost, a little bit of confidence, and they're turning more pucks over, and the Devils have got to regain their composure. Good game so far, a lot of scoring chances, but just on that third line, we mentioned Ferrara, but I'm looking at Ben Lake as well. Looks like just a good defensive two-way forward. Coming out of University of Sacred Heart, he's never put up a huge amount of points, but he just seemed to be in the right places there as a centre to kind of negate the play, negate the transition of the Devils coming through the neutral zone.
Nice play from Valorand again. He's up against Gleason Fournier, one of the league's best skaters, and he put good pressure on him though, and perhaps Brett Robinson can establish the Blaze here, but it was given away, and now Drew Paris has a chance to set things up for the Devils. Well handled by Batch. It was in his skates, the puck, but he did well, and now he sets off and doesn't get it deep enough in the end, so the Blaze get it back. But that's a good cutout play, and Batch gets a second try. Goes around the outside of Galen Patterson, and now David Clements has got work to do, and Craig Moore hustles and bustles his way in and helps the Devils keep it in the zone with Bryce Reddick there. Now it's back with Moore. Took a bump in the back, but will shoot anyway and bring a bit of energy to this Devils side as we're halfway through the first period. Piggott as well will step in. He had a fine game against the Nottingham Panthers and really brought that heart and soul to the Devils' performance, John. But the Blaze might hit them here. Ladd had it taken away from him though, but they'll get another try. That one just gets ladled in, and here now is Adam Corshane. Corshane gets it back, blasted in. Fine save there from Ben Bounds, as stepping in was Dax Lowers, but Bounds was up to the task.
Yeah, Luke Piggott and Craig Moore do bring a lot of energy, but it was Piggott there who just got caught a little bit out of position, meaning coverage broke down. Moore had to go across to the defenseman and possibly just did enough to put him off. But you're absolutely right, that Myers-Moore-Piggott line was fundamental to the Devils' success last weekend. And what I love about Craig Moore is a couple of things. He's always busy, but not in a headless chicken kind of way. He's making turnovers, he's constantly skating, and he always looks to put the puck on net.
Good draw one from the Coventry Blaze there. That one took a bump off the linesman. It worked in a way for the Devils, but they couldn't do anything with it. There's no ice on this play, so Lowers will go back. Andrew Lord will make a big bump on him just so he knows he's there, and it wins the turnover. Lord will look to pull a move, goes backhand. Good save there, as it was well read. It's a tough shot to save, but I don't think Lord got all of it.
He didn't get all of it, but it was a great defensive play by the Coventry defender, because Lord wanted to pass that puck. He knew he was on his backhand, and I'm not sure whether it was actually Coach Shane back there who kind of took that pass away, which meant Lord had to go to his backhand for the shot, and yeah, it's still a scoring chance, but I think a pass from Lord there to the forehand of, I think it was Jake Morissette, would have been an even better scoring chance.
Good draw one there, and that's a sensible play from Paris. It was deflected out front, but didn't find a way through. Chipped into the zone, but skating well there. Well, it's probably fair in the end. Venus thought he had a sniff for a moment of waving off the icing, John, but Fournier was a little too quick.
Just to go back to the point about the Devils' fourth line, who were on the ice actually when that goal was conceded, but you look at Ulmer, Lewis and Batch. Al, I don't know about you, I'd run with that for a while. I know Lewis has been put up there because of injuries, and Farina, Haddad, Asselin's still out, but the energy that brings, the physical presence it brings, and the turnovers that result from it, I'd like to see that line continue to run.
The Devils won the draw there with Joey Martin, and he'll go to work now. Puts a nice hit in there on a love, and the Devils will regain the puck. Might be a chance. Bentavolio shoots it, still there. It handcuffed Nastchuk for a moment, but in the end he did all he needed to, and we get another face-off in the offensive zone. Third line, would you say that is, John, though, at the moment? Not fourth?
Third line, oh, sorry, yes, of course.
But what does it become when players come back?
Well, that's why I referenced the fourth line, but you know, the line in Nottingham that got a lot of ice time in terms of, was Matthew Myers the centre, and it was Jansen and Lawrence, or was Rob Farmer on that line?
Well, I think Farmer and Myers played on it from time to time.
And it was a line that set a tone for the Panthers, caused teams so many problems. So yes, it would be described as a fourth line, but it played 12 to 15 minutes a game.
Matt Pope there just had it taken away. Valorand there was quick onto that, and he does get a chance. In on goal, Valorand goes in on bounds. Nice move from him. How did he miss there, Brett Robinson? Valorand did everything, but Robinson couldn't find a way to beat bounds. But there is a call on the play, and it looks as though the Blaze will go on the power play.
Valorand's speed is exceptional. He just got away from defensive cover there altogether, but the trouble for Brett Robinson has just been a left-handed shot there. The puck came to his backhand side, and he was trying to corral it and elevate it all in one motion, and just couldn't get it. If he'd have been a right-handed shot there and taken that on the forehand, I suspect we would have had a 2-0 game. No fault of Robinson, no fault of Valorand, but just circumstance there that Robinson couldn't get that puck and elevate it over Bounds' pad all in one motion.
So you referenced the Blazers power play, John, heading into this one, and it's pretty dire in league games, but it's in fact they've scored around half their Challenge Cup goals on the man advantage. It's at 33% in Challenge Cup action, and they've got the right players on the ice to keep that going now. Adam Corshane has a hold of the puck and will work the half boards. Corshane with the heads up there. He's up against Tyson Strachan, just marshalling the lane. Back now with Gustav Onelov, and now it's Corshane again, winds, fires, but the Devils got the loose puck first. It stayed in the zone though. That was a nice play from Onelov again. He gets it over to
Hotham. Skateblade has gone out. He's complete. He's got to get to the bench. It's a 5-on-3 right now.
Hotham Bambies his way to the bench, and they go 5-on-4. The Blaze, I don't know if they're as slow to see that as I was, John. They just didn't take advantage quick enough, and in the end got no shots away while Hotham was down. Sent through on bounds, and he covers it well. Had a little bit of a dig after there, but nothing into it. We've got 1:17 left on this Blaze power play.
I think you make the right call there. I don't think the Blaze quite realised the opportunity they had. Andrew Hotham was completely prone on that ice, and there was a shooting lane wide open on that left-hand side of the ice. If the Blaze could have moved it quickly, they didn't read the situation. Just in terms of having the right players on the ice, which was a phrase you used a moment ago, Valorand, who you suspect would play a lot of power play time, he went to the locker room after taking that slash from Matt Pope, and I'm waiting to see if he's returned yet. Doesn't look like he's correct and present right now.
So here's Luke Ferrara, makes a nice play, but it was just bobbled there over the stick of Galen Patterson, so the Blaze have got a little bit of work to do, but the Devils, well, they'll get it out. They might have a chance of the breakaway here, but Morissette there was just caught there by Brett Robertson with a nice defensive play. Read it very well, did Robertson, and all that experience, of course. Third year at the Blaze now, goes a point a game in Elite League hockey. Not far off that in East Coast hockey either. Jordan Petrus into the zone, but Ben Lake there, a little bit too eager. And with 46 seconds left, there'll be a neutral zone face-off.
Yeah, but you look at this as a second power play unit. Petrus out there with Ferrara and Lake, and you just wonder whether that's the look that Danny Stewart would want. Quality hockey players in terms of Lake and Ferrara, but you know, that Coventry Blaze bench is got to be counting the seconds till Valorant returns to the lineup, because this second power play unit the Blaze have sent out, it's probably not as impactful as it could be.
Well, that draw was won by Petrus, who's been good so far there tonight, and just couldn't find a way through though, Robinson, but it will find its way back to Petrus, and now they'll start again from the back. Here's Luke Ferrara up on the wing, just chips that one in, and chasing on the far side is Ben Lake. Jordan Petrus, though, couldn't get there, and that's a good play from Sean Bentivolio, who's got a spring in his step this season. John, he looks fitter. Ben Bounds there, just cover that puck. Took his time to do it, so it just means there's 14 seconds left on this Blaze power play.
Everyone looks fit to me this season, Al. Married life is taking its toll on me. Too much pasta, too many desserts. The wife's too good in the kitchen.
Well, I'm thrilled for you.
She's trying to kill me off. The life insurance is good.
So, Andrew Hotham is back on the ice now, so it's a good quick job there on the skate. But that might work for the Blaze. Dingle fires a wicked wrister in the end, but Bounds saw it and saved with the glove. 3 seconds left on the power play.
I thought Ryan Dingle was a really savvy pickup by Danny Stewart. Obviously, Danny Stewart knows him from his time in Fife. You look at his resume, the AHL games, the points in Italy, the above point-a-game performance for the Fife Flyers. 33-year-old wearing an A this year for the Blaze, brings a little bit of leadership. I thought he spoke very well in his interview after Wednesday night's game. I think he's a good guy to have around this Coventry Blaze team.
The Devils are back to full strength here, and handling the puck is Nastchuk. Didn't handle it too well. He usually does handle it well, Nastchuk, but it was given away, and the Devils could try and build off of that. Kevin Noble will get there first, but he's in a battle with Lane Ulmer, and Ulmer won it. But well, it doesn't come out of the zone. Hotham will just chip that one over the far side. Josh Batch made a nice play, and he's winning a lot of 50-50s, Josh Batch, and a real nuisance so far in this opening stanza. D to D they go. Hotham steps in, still with Andrew Hotham, but he's just wrestling his way through, fighting the puck a little bit, and 2 men on him. But Batch again, what a good back check play that was. Eventually, it was given away, and out of the zone it comes.
Josh Batch looks like a player to me, playing with real confidence after scoring a few goals in this new forward position. Likes playing with Mark Lewis. They're two guys who can go in and take the body. I really think this guy's going to be a standout power forward if he continues on this path.
That one gets sent in by Ryan Dingle, so Bounds will just handle, and the Devils will set up again. Still trailing 1-0 here. That goal that banked in, it's there now for Morissette. Nice move from him to get inside Onalov, but it was just out of the reach of Andrew Lord on the back post. Dax Lauer's good body pressure there. Ben Lake will come in to help as well. It's now with Gleason Fournier, though. Fournier just sends that one in, and almost took a tip there, a bit speculative. But here go the Blaze, but again, it just got stuck in the ice, maybe.
Call, I think. I think a mixture of both. I think the puck did get stuck on the ice there, but the Blaze player had the step, and Crowder did just get his stick in the midriff. And like I said earlier, I think referees after this week are going to, well, they're not going to err on the side of leniency, I suspect. They'll call everything that they feel needs to be called, and there was probably just about enough there to justify a penalty. Just on that Josh Batch point, I noticed a lot of comments, and I'm not saying anybody's hockey knowledge is better than anyone else, but when the Devils were going through that slump, there were a lot of knee-jerk calls. Batch has got to go back to D, Batch has got to go back to D. This guy is getting accustomed to that forward position, but be patient with this guy, go with him, because in my mind, if he continues on the path he is and plays with confidence, as a British power forward, you know, he really could be the real deal.
He's already chipped in with some goals, John.
I think he's always had, you know, good hands as a forward when he plays with a little bit of a nasty streak. I don't think there are many stronger players in the league, and
oh, he's a heavy hitter, isn't he? He really delivers a crunching blow when he decides to throw the body. And he has a bit more license to do so in that role there. Currently on the Devils' third line with Mark Lewis and Lane Ulmer. Of course, Justin Farina, Patrick Asselin still out of the lineup. Mark Richardson on the back end as well. Here's Robertson. Robertson with a nice pass, but Petrus got a bit of work to do on the far side. It's Galen Patterson here looking for the puck, and it gets thrown in on Bounds in the end. Good work there from Ben Lake, who was a distracting eye for Ben Bounds. But here's Joey Martin. He's 1 on 3, but you never know with Joey Martin. He could pull something out the bag, and he certainly killed some valuable seconds there. 1:15 left for the Blaze on the power play now, and Lane Ulmer will come to join the party and kill some more time.
Just keeping an eye on the Blaze bench. Ben Lake has taken a knock now. I'm not sure whether Valorant has returned yet.
I haven't seen him.
No, Lake is now back on the bench. He hasn't gone to the locker room, but he was nursing what looked like a knee injury.
And that's just what the Blaze don't need as well, is to lose any more bodies. They already started the season with 11 forwards, so they're a bit depleted naturally compared to a lot of the other clubs now, running with those straight 4 lines. And of course, without Paquette tonight serving that suspension as well, and he's a big influence. He's physical, but that's a beautiful move on the blue line. It was inside, but again, just could have done with being a right shooter there, Corshane. That one got thrown in, it hit the netting. 23 seconds left for the power play. Paquette's a big loss, John, as well, because he's got that physical presence, but he can put points up too. He's a point every other game in the East Coast. Yeah,
his secondary scoring is a thing that the Blaze need as well. He's an agitator who can fight his own battles. He'll bring a team momentum, and he'll chip in and get you some points. So absolutely, it's a big loss. And in a game like this, where it's going to be a lot about intensity and energy and motivating your team, he's a player that Danny Stewart would have wanted to have in the lineup.
That's good work there, isn't it, from the captain, Jake Morissette. He wanted a penalty, but it wasn't forthcoming from Mike Hicks. Lord, shot there. That was a sly, wicked shot. And down goes Nastjuk there. He felt he was bumped on the way through from Morissette. A couple of claims for penalties either way, but nothing doing from Mike Hicks. So we're back to full strength anyway in the building here, and that's a nice lead play by Wojtek Claus, but it was out of the reach. And we are going to get an icing here, so it'll come all the way back into the Blaze zone.
Corshane has gone to the bench just to kill a couple of seconds. He'll slowly make his way back onto the ice in order to try and give the rest of his teammates a little bit of a breather. Good period, Al. End-to-end period, scoring chances on both sides of the puck. The Devils, they're a goal down, but you know, confidence might be a little bit of an issue for them as well. They were on a slump. They had that big performance last weekend. They just need to keep doing what they're doing, because they are generating shots on Nastjuk, but right now he's just been equal to everything.
Good win by Matt Pope there, so it meant that stepping inside was Morissette. Then we get a nice battle, and that's a good bit of work from Dax Lowers there, just to take Bendevolio away. He held on a little long, no call. Reddick shoots up high, good save from Nastjuk. Reddick will have it back now. He's hustles and bustles as Reddick makes things happen in that offensive zone, but that time the Devils couldn't take the eyes away from Nastjuk enough, and he made a good save. But that's good high pressure. Eventually the Blaze will get out of the zone and able to change some of those tired bodies as well after the icing call. Now Joey Martin. Martin with a nice play inside. Still there now. Hotham shoots. Fine save from Nastjuk again. Point blank save, and goodness me, he started this one well. Hotham got that one back to the point. Reddick has time and space. Finds a lane. Shoots. They score! Tipped out front. The Devils tied at 1.
Well, it's Joey Martin who scores a big goal with that tip, but it's great work by both Andrew Hotham and Bryce Reddick. Hotham recycled that puck a couple of times. He had the good scoring chance, which Nastjuk was equal to and made a good blocker save, but he wouldn't give up on the play. He recycled the play. He found Reddick. Reddick made a nice little dipsy-do play at the blue line to open up a shooting lane. He puts it towards the net, and Martin, right place, right time, gets a nice deflection on it, and it was going to take something like that to beat this excellent Blaze netminder.
That's Joey Martin's second goal of the Challenge Cup, and he had a goal, of course, against the Nottingham Panthers as well. He's going at a consistent pace early on in the season. And it was a fine play, as you say, John, from Reddick and Hotham to set it up. Here's Fournier now with a nice no-look play, but Josh Batchett was just away from him. Then that one sails into the crowd. It's an opportunity as well for me, John, to just apologise to the listeners that I'm limited to about a third of an octave tonight due to my bit of a throat condition. I think that's the first time I went anywhere near a different pitch. So apologies if it's a little bit monotone, but I'm trying to last the whole game.
anyone's got any Scotch broth or food for the soul, they can drop into the arena for Adelaide Lloyd tonight. Remember, he is a vegan, but we would appreciate it.
Big bump comes in from Mark Lewis again, but that was a nice play. Took a hit to make a play, and here's Jordan Petrus. 2 on 3 they go. Fine shot from him. Bounds, though, with the blocker, made the save. And Garrett Ladd there as well. He's a hard-working player. He's got that good experience in the East Coast as well, and you can see he's a Danny Stewart-type player, John.
Yeah, but had a little bit of a breakout season points-wise last year with Tulsa, so he can bring a little bit of everything as we...
Yeah, we were getting a bit of a bump over there. Lowers just didn't like what Mark Lewis is doing, but that's the role of Mark Lewis. He's just getting under the skin, and he's looked to enforce on a few occasions early on in the season. I can't see the Blaze looking to take any fights that aren't necessary here tonight because they're a bit down on bodies. The Devils, of course, down on bodies too, but they're still rolling 5D and 4 full lines of forwards. Here's player coach Andrew Lord out front. Well, it went all the way over, and with Morissette's form in front of goal, you'd have bet on scoring a better chance there. Lowers with a nice hit on Morissette in the corner as well. We're in the final minute of the first, and Morissette comes back with a nice bump, but looking to break through there was Adam Corshane, but he didn't get a hold of it in the end.
Devils got lucky there. Awful gap control by Strachan and Reddick. Haven't played together a whole lot. Communication wasn't quite there, and they almost allowed the Blaze player the freedom of Cardiff to go in on Ben Bounds.
Kevin Noble will slap that one into the zone with a tip from Ben Lake, means there's no icing. Lake follows up with a nice bump on Andrew Hotham too, but out of the zone they come. Joey Martin has work to do. Venus made a good play, but now, well, there's no ice there. Andrew Hotham expected it, and so he's just going to chip it out of the zone, chasing Wojtek Klosman. Look at that work from Bentavolio to get inside again. He's just got that extra step this season, John. We saw him wave off an icing in which he had no hope you'd have given him on the weekend as well. Ben Lake now takes a bump from Matt Pope. Looks like we're going to see this one out at 1-1. Petrus will just come in. And that's it. And pretty solid first period. Nothing spectacular, but a couple of nice plays at both ends, and pretty fair on the score sheet too at 1-1.
I think it is. That's a good period of hockey from both teams. Plenty of scoring chances to keep the fans in this building entertained. But for me, the big story of that period, Al, is Valorant not returning after taking an injury. I haven't seen him on the ice. I might be mistaken. Please let me know if you guys have seen him on our...
Let's get back to things on the ice before one of us says something we might regret. So, well, of course, Tuesday night, John, as well, before we get underway here, Mark Richardson's testimonial, and a fabulous event it was.
It was, and again, it looks like we're going to have another delay. Sorry, we will come back to Richardson, but is the ice problematic again? And I know Jamie Elson said to me the other day, Al, he hates these delays. You've just done a team talk in the dressing room. You've got the guys motivated and riled up and ready to go, and then you have this 2 or 3 minute delay where the ice just isn't frozen. There's pools of water, and the referee rightly has to delay the game, and maybe that intensity you built up is lost. So not a great situation in Ice Arena Wales at the moment. But yeah, in terms of Mark Richardson, what a servant to the Cardiff Devils, and I think he'll continue to be a servant for the Devils for another 7, 8, 9 years, and we could even do it all again with another testimonial. Andrew Law just speaks about the fact he's the best conditioned guy on the team. He eats right, he lives right, and what a pickup he was from the Bracknell Bees, and the Devils lost him to Nottingham and Basingstoke for a little while, but I think now he's firmly a Cardiff Devil, and you could just tell the respect that all of his colleagues, former teammates and current teammates had for him. They just spoke with him with such affection and admiration.
So it's Garrett Ladd who's going to start this period alongside Petrus and Robinson, so we assume that Marc-Olivier Vallerand is indeed not going to step on the ice in this second period. It's a real shame for fans of both clubs because he looked a wonderful player, and hopefully there's nothing too serious there. Big bump behind the goals, Paul Crowder it was, and away come the Cardiff Devils. Nice bit of skill there from Jake Morissette, and he'll go into the zone with a low centre of gravity. Now Paul Crowder comes in with a bigger body, and he'll wrestle up against Kevin Noble, who lost his stick there, did Noble, but he gets a chance straight away to pick it up as that puck eluded Tyson Strachan. Getting there first was Ben Bounds. Good play from Ladd, but Lord did a decent job on him just to stifle the attack, and now Strachan can come away. Andrew Law just got caught up in his skates though there, and he ended up playing a nice side footer to Wojtek Kloss. That was a lead pass and tipped into the zone. And with the puck now is Gleeson Fournier as the Devils look to set things up. So we're going to see Corshane out there with Dingle and Ferrara, who's going to step up onto this second line after Ladd moved up to the top line. So the Blaze really feeling it. You can see it on the bench as well, John. There's just a lack of bodies there right now.
There is, and it's a blow for them, but they've got to just show some character, and they have done thus far in this game. They showed it in their last or their previous 2 games. We saw the interview with Danny Stewart, just how upset he was last Saturday night with an overtime loss against the Dundee Stars, but they regrouped and they won 2 big games. So they're obviously a team with characters in that locker room, and they need to come to the forefront right now.
There are almost more Devils on the gantry here with us right now. Injured, of course, Patrick Aslin, Justin Farina, who's just passed us, and Joey Haddad, 3 extremely influential players. Good save from Bounds there. He stayed tight to his post, and in the end that did the job, but he could have been caught out, but he was wise to the play. Here's Corshane, nice no-look play. Inside it goes, and it was a chance for Ryan Dingle out front there, and in the end he couldn't get his stick on the end of it. Here's Bryce Reddick now stepping up. Will put the brakes on and look to feed that one through, but taken out of it was Sean Bentivoglio. Now Ryan Dingle will start things up and take a big bump along the benches, but nice play in the end, I think, from Matt Pope, who just held up on the hit because he was in a prone position was Dingle. Now Joey Martin. Martin just turns around and surveys things and goes to Bryce Reddick, who goes to Andrew Hoffman. Good work from Dax Lowers, who I think has been impressive in his own end, John. He's a big body back there, and he's been stoic in defence so far. And he puts good pressure on Andrew Hoffman there too, clean pressure as well. And away comes Corshane. Corshane. You can see all that experience he has. Ferrara there will just make a nice play, and it means Ben Lake jumping onto the ice can get there, but it just didn't quite work out for them, and the puck will exit the zone all the way back. So Galen Patterson is going to take a bump there from Josh Batch, but he made a nice play up to Ross Venus, who's out there with Lake. And looks like David Clements is going to play on that third line as a forward, and the Blaze are going to go back to 5D men. So 5 on 5 in terms of defensemen out there right now. And here's Lane Ulmer. Just chipped that one out front, but it was easily handled by Nastya. Big bump comes in there from Luke Piggott, but good work from Clements. Made a nice play. Clements will step inside off the play from Ross Venus, but Tyson Strachan did a nice job on him, the ex-NHLer.
Drew Parrish just lost awareness of where he was on the ice there, and Clements had the jump on him. If he'd been able to corral that puck, he was in one-on-one on Bounds, and you know, I think the Devils have been good tonight, but there's still a few issues on that back end, giving up odd man rushes.
And we certainly haven't seen anything like the intensity that they played with against the Nottingham Panthers last week.
No, we haven't, but you know, it's going to be difficult to bring that every single game. I think the Devils are still looking to play as a strong side, and I like that line with Batch and Lewis on it, but it's going to be a long weekend with that trip to Fife tomorrow, so maybe just managing themselves through.
Must-win game, though, this, of course. Wojtek Kloss steps inside. He's got good offense as a D-man as Kloss, but that just was a bit too much weight on it for Garrett Ladd. And the Devils will, well, they will come away with it in the end through a ricochet or two. Craig Moore got it up. The Devils may look for a change here if they can get it deep. Matthew Myers is out there to put some pressure on. Good outlet play, though, from Kloss, and here they come again. Petrus will go up on the wing where Brett Robinson has it. Robinson sent it back in, but it was just out of reach of Jordan Petrus. There's a loose stick there in the Devil zone. It's a Blaze stick, but it's causing a bit of trouble, but well, it just got caught up there. It was a nice play from Morissette. Fired in anyway. Good save. Might be another try there. Stepping in there was Paul Crowder. And now Jake Morissette. Yeah, Morissette with intelligent play, but he just couldn't handle that puck, and in the end lost the step he gained on the Blaze defensive unit. Claus now. He's going to play a lot of minutes. Crowder up against him. Morissette up against Petrus. These Blaze forwards, though, they like playing a lot of minutes, and we hear from Stu and Ed that players like Petrus and, well, Valorant, while he was out on the ice anyway, enjoy eating up a lot of minutes for Danny Stewart, so it's not really a poor thing for them to see him on the ice that much more. That was a evaded law, but he did well. And now it's out front. Crowder looked to pull a move, but he just couldn't finish it off in the end. He did everything but score.
I like this line of Crowder, Morissette, and Lord. I said to you off camera last week, Al, I think Jake Morissette makes Andrew Lord a better player, and Andrew Lord makes Jake Morissette a better player. They just feel very, very comfortable kind of playing on the same line.
Big
nice
bump comes in, though, from Dax Lowers. He impresses me with every shift, John. Andrew Lord will look to go back and try and make amends. Venus evaded a hit. Nice move sent to ice from Ben Lake, who cuts through, but Drew Parris with a good stick took it away from him. Good work, though, on the far side. I think that's Galen Patterson out there stepping into the play. It was. He got it deep to Ross Venus. Hustle and bustle from the Coventry Blaze, who are making the Devils work for every inch of ice here. Matt Pope with a nice move, and then good speed from Joey Martin, but that's good coverage play from Patterson, and then it's a loose pass, and out of the zone it comes, and on a Blaze stick. But then Ben Lake gave it away too easily, and here's Matt Pope. The Devils have a chance. Pope! It just got caught in the ice, and that's exactly what we were talking about, John.
That ice is pretty awful out there, Al, and it's having a detrimental effect on what's a good hockey game. And
how do you have an arena which is barely, what, 2.5 years old with such poor ice?
It's unfortunate, and you know, that's no criticism of the guys here who work in Ice Arena Wales. They work very hard. We know a lot of them, and but you know, we made the kind of the excuse in the August, September months that it's still very humid outside, but you know, it felt like the first day of winter in Cardiff today, and yet we still got pretty slushy ice out there. So
extra hour in bed tonight as well, John. So you know, when you're out partying till 5 a.m., you're gonna.
I am a partier.
You know, get a nice
yeah,
nice lie in.
Me and 6'5" Jack, we're out in the town tonight.
He's got his cup of tea ready. At least I hope that's a cup of tea, and he's not drinking over there. Right. There's all a bit of nothing there, and we're not going to get an icing call, so as you were. I think Mark Lewis there forgot he was playing forward for a moment, John. He was about to set things up from behind the goal. No icing again, so a little bit of a lull, really. Flung out front by Lewis. Batch nearly got it, but in the end the Blaze will come away. They got a chance of the breakaway. Here it is. It's Ladd will shoot, and that's a good stick there from Andrew Hoffman. He can do it at both ends, John. He
can do it at both ends, but Bryce Reddick, who's been so solid in the last few games, he's really coming on as a defenseman, but maybe there, I think his decision-making when he had the puck in the Blaze zone's got to be a little bit better. If that shooting lane's not there, just cycle the puck again, put it around the boards and continue to build the play. He really took on a shot where there wasn't an angle or a lane to take on that shot, and it almost resulted in a breakaway. So Bryce Reddick, he's learning his game at this level, and I'm thoroughly impressed with the way he's improving. But again, it's just about decision-making.
Good draw one from the Blaze, and Kevin Noble with a desperation play, and did well really, but he's gonna get called there for just tugging back Andrew Lord, and I don't know, John, I thought he did quite well there.
Well, I think it's going to be called a trip as he went for the Pope check there, and I don't know, did he go through the skates first? Whether the guys can put it up as a replay for us. Certainly he got a touch of the puck, but I wonder whether he took the blades away from Andrew Lord first. So maybe in the next break of play we'll get a replay of that, but what it does, it gives the Devils a power play, and also Kevin Noble is one of the better penalty killers for the Blaze. He spends a lot of time on the ice during a penalty kill, so it cost the Blaze on 2 counts.
The Devils get their first power play. It's early on in the first period where they created 1 or 2 chances, but nothing to really worry Nastjuk. Here they go to work now. Matt Pope with Gleason Fournier on the back end. Pope here. This is something that Andrew Lord is trying of late, and it's obviously working a little bit better. Pope has it back, fires, point blank, they score! Paul Crowder picked up the trash on the doorstep. The Devils go 2-1 up on the power play.
That's a very nice goal from the Devils. That's a set power play goal that pays off eventually. As you say, Al, Pope at the point gives the puck down low and then jumps into that high slot area for a lovely give and go, and he's not covered. He gets a lovely release on net, and Nastjuk makes another good save. But Crowder, I really think his hands are underrated. He's got very good hands. That puck is on the half volley really, and he just finishes it with absolute aplomb. And That was a nice play from the Cardiff Devils, a set play. Of course, Pope was meant to be the goal scorer, but the secondary opportunity from Crowder stayed with the play, and that's a nice goal.
That's Crowder's third of the Challenge Cup as well, John. His first on the power play in this competition, but he's really, as Andrew Lord said post-game against Nottingham, he's starting to turn into the player that Andrew Lord knew he had when he signed. Of course, he didn't play last season, Crowder, so it's taken him a little while just to get back into that zone, I suppose, but he's looking a very, very good addition right now. Big bump there. Josh Batch has thrown a number of heavy clean hits, John, and it's bound to be wearing for the Blaze defenseman over the course of this hockey game. Yeah,
I'd like to see Josh Batch's hit count tonight. I think it's been very high, and that's his job. Just wear down those bodies of the Blaze, particularly the Blaze defenseman. Certainly if they're going with 5 now with David Clements as a forward, look to wear down and bear down on those Blaze defensemen and create those turnovers.
Tice Strachan there just got it out of the zone with a nice chip play, and now there's a little battle going on the boards. It didn't work for Lane Ulmer. Good work from Claus. He's a big unit to get around, and he did well there. Icing is the call though, and we'll come all the way back to the Devils zone.
Yeah, I really can't speak enough about Josh Batch, and I know I've sort of bent your ear for 2 years about him playing as a forward. It seems strange to say when the Devils won the league title last year. Why would you need to change up a guy's position? But for me, he was always going to be 5th and 6th defenseman, and as a result, his ice time perhaps a little limited. As a forward, I really think he can get into a game, he can influence a game. He's a good skater, he brings size, and I think it's a really good move by Andrew Lord, and hopefully he'll persevere.
That one almost broke for Ross Venus there as he found himself in a good position, but in the end the Devils will clear, and Claus has got work to do. Takes a big bump though, Andrew Lord there with a heavy hit, then Paul Crowder with a hit. I wonder if there's just been a little message here that the Devils perhaps can seize an opportunity now with that 1-goal lead, just to wear down these Blaze players who are playing a lot of minutes out there. Look at that no-look play. Jake Morris set up on the wing, going to the net is Crowder, the trailer is Lord, and he maybe overplayed it in the end for Andrew Hoffman, and the Blaze escape. Now they might go here 2-on-1 though. Having to go back was Matt Pope. It's there though, and another chance there. There it is, gaping for the Blaze. They score! Hitting back straight away. David Clements makes it a 2-2 hockey game.
Well, that's a reward for a guy like David Clements, who's a very talented hockey player. Big fan of his, jumping up into the forward line. The Devils get caught on a bad change, the period of the long change, and when that play broke down, I think you're right, Al Lord overplayed it, and the Devils got caught committing too many men in front of the puck, and the Blaze came down with an odd man rush. I thought Lake didn't put enough steam on his pass to the trailer initially, and I thought the play might have broken down, but credit to the Blaze, stayed with the puck. Ben Bounds was sprawling a little, and it was a nice finish from Clements, allowing Bounds to go down and then just putting the puck over the prostrate netminder, and credit to the Blaze character. It's a 2-2 hockey game.
That's his first of the Challenge Cup. They might get another chance here. Dingle in on goal. What a fine stick play that was on the back check from Joey Martin. Ross Venus will get an assist on the goal, and Ben Lake too. Maybe a chance here. Martin in on goal. Martin shoots. Fine save there though from Nastchuk. Big bump from Matt Pope, who's throwing the body. And the Devils have found themselves in on Nastchuk 1 or 2 times in this game, but he's been up to the task. Here's Matt Pope. Careen that one in. It's back with Pope now, who's getting involved in this one more and more, but that'll just hit the netting behind the goal, and we get a whistle.
But we'll see that goal again in the period highlights, but I think everyone in the building thought Andrew Lord was going to shoot that puck, and as a result the Devils have committed a lot of players north, and just the give off by Lord that broke down really froze all of the Devils players. They then went for a line change as well, which kind of added to the misery for them, and they never really regrouped, and credit to that third line of the Blaze. Maybe just a shutdown line, but it comes up with a very big goal.
That draw was won by the Devils, but great heads-up play from Garrett Ladd meant he got there first, and now on the wing is Kevin Noble. Takes a dive, but Andrew Hoffman doesn't like it, but he's won the penalty, and then we get something off the play, and goodness me, John, that was right behind the players, but down went a Devil, and my word, that looks there's a bit of a knock there.
I don't like that play. I'm going to call out Kevin Noble there. I'll wait to see the replay. I called out Matt Pope in the first period. I think it is a penalty in terms of holding. I'd call embellishment as well on that because he really sold the call. And then it looks like a little bit of a trip on Andrew Hotham at the boards. And I don't know, maybe I'll reserve judgment till we see the replay. Anyone who listens to the commentary of Coventry Blaze games when I'm on it knows what a big fan I am of Kevin Noble. I think he's a real team guy, do anything for this organisation. But a couple of moments there, I didn't think that was too high class.
No, and there probably was a penalty on the play initially on Drew Parris, and it didn't need the embellishment, and I'm quite surprised in a way that hasn't been called as well, because I don't think any fan of hockey wants to see that creep into the game. But anyway, it's a Blaze power play. We look forward to the replay of that. It was just behind the melee of players, John, so we couldn't get a full look first time, but maybe the replay will just give us more on what went on after the whistle went. Nobody seemed particularly angry, though, did they, after? There was no real reaction from the Devils, so perhaps it was just a coming together. Anyway, here they go on the power play. Brett Robertson has the puck. Luke Ferrara's out there too, and he has it now. Goes back to the point where Galen Patterson waits. Patterson goes over to the far side, and Brett Robertson will work it again. Such a talented player, Robertson, but he just overplayed it there, tried a bit too much, and Andrew Lord could kill some time with 1:15 left. Then a big high hit comes in.
Here we go.
And are we going to see a response here? Mark Lewis is going to go straight in for Robinson. Ben Lake, and now we get a melee. Andrew Lord is back up as well. He's in a tangle. Is he with Ferrara? And my goodness.
Andrew Lord is furious. That was a high hit. It was a good back check. Andrew Lord was killing time very well. He just turned. Yes, he did turn into the hit. I would say that. He did turn into the hit, but I thought the hit was a little high, and I expected a response there. I'm sure not intentional, maybe just a little bit of off timing, but it was going to get a response. Yeah,
Robertson's not that kind of player at all. I think the intent was there to throw a hit on Lord and just separate him from the puck, and he just got it wrong there. But anytime a hit goes up high like that, you're going to see a response, John, especially with what we've seen in the week and all the discussion that goes on in hockey around head injuries.
I would echo that. Brett Robinson's certainly not that sort of player, but it looks like he's been thrown from this game. This is a big decision, a big moment for the Blaze. Such a character performance so well tonight, but they're another player down, and they're another elite forward down. And this is could be, again, a turning point. He's not that sort of player, and I would say that Andrew Lord turned into the hit, but when you see a hit come up that high, well, I wonder whether the referee really has any choice there.
Yeah, we'll hope to get a replay. Can we get a replay on that as soon as possible? It'd be great to see it within the period, just so we can discuss things there. We might get a little pause in play here as well. And who knows?
So we're doing Mystic Meg, but what would you say? 5+ game for checking to the head?
Well, 5 has definitely gone up on the board, John. Mark Lewis is going to the penalty box as well. I don't really know what Mark Lewis... Yes, please, yeah, replay of the hit. I don't really know what Mark Lewis did in the end, John.
Well, you know, he looked to get engaged in that confrontation. I suppose he didn't really drop the gloves, but I suspect he will get a roughing call. And this is Lord killing a penalty, and he does turn into the hit, but it's high. You're right, Robinson's not that sort of player. He's looking to separate Lord from the puck and maybe build a little bit of momentum for his team. But you've got to be in control of your hit, and even if Lord turns into it, there's no reason really to hit that high. So I like him as a player. I like him as a leader of this team, Robinson. But I think that's a justified call.
Yeah, so it's a 5+ game for a check to the head. So sitting in the box for Brett Robertson is David Clements. Mark Lewis did instigate a bit of a melee there, so you can see why the 2 minutes is coming there. So it's a 2-minute roughing penalty, John, for Mark Lewis as well. So right now we're going to see the Blaze actually end up on a power play after that, because in the box already was Drew Parris. 4-on-3. It's a big chance for the Blaze actually here to get a marker and go ahead in this hockey game. Here's Adam Corshane. Corshane goes down low. It's back with Corshane now at the point. The Devils with 3 skaters out there. Joey Martin mans the point man. Nice play out front, tipped. And that's a nice play as well. I like that move, putting Wojtek Claus out front to take the eyes away from Ben Bounds. There it was, but a good stick from Joey Martin.
I think it's a great move. If you're running out of skilled players to play on the power play, at least get a big body out there to take the eyes away, as you say. Nice move from Danny Stewart.
Corshane now back with him. He's just looking to control this power play for the Blaze. Fired by Dingle, but well blocked from Offham, and it just escaped the zone 32 seconds left, 4 on 3 we're going to see here. And it's with Corchet. No changes for the Blaze. Claus has now come back to the point, and in front of the net now. They try again. Good save from Bounds, as Petrus can do that job as well. For a smaller guy, he's tough as nails, is Jordan Petrus, and he almost had success, but it stays at 2-2.
He is, and you know, that was a nicely worked power play by the Blaze. The problem is, I suspect that unit will have to stay on the ice for the entirety of this power play, because I think they're just running out of players they can bring on as a secondary unit who can really control that zone time on the power play and create scoring chances. So this line is really going to see out the remaining 1 minute and 9 seconds of the power play. The Blaze, such a character performance tonight, but they're running out of bodies.
Well, it'll be 17 seconds until Paris steps on the ice. Then we'll get 4-on-4 hockey. So, but you're right, John. They're going to be out there for a long while. And they stay out there. Corshade with Claus and Petrus and Dingle. Dingle, nice cross-ice play, but it just was in the skates of Petrus. If he could have one-timed that, you feel the Blaze would have gone 3-2 up. Out of the box is Drew Paris, so now we go 4-on-4 for 45 seconds. Then the Devils will have an extended power play, and offside will be the call there, but they don't handle it, so here's Claus. Of course, if the Devils do score on that power play, it won't mean that Clements comes out of the box as well in a 5-minute major, so they've licensed to score. Tipped in on the far side by Ladd. He'll chase that one up against Fournier. He had to be careful, did Fournier, but Ben Bounds handled. There's a bit of room here on the near side, but it wasn't seen. And it's now with Bryce Reddick. 4-on-4. Exciting hockey here with the space on the ice. 10 seconds left. If the Devils keep the puck in the zone here, they'll go straight on the power play. And that's good work there. Good puck possession work from Bentivoglio. He's been a firecracker tonight as Bentivoglio. Lewis will go straight to the bench because he won't play power play time. And they get on Lane Ulmer. It's sent out front for Morrissey. Wrap around try. They score! Andrew Hotham instantly on the power play makes it 3-2 Devils.
Al, I think that goal is just a question of the Devils regrouping a little quicker than the Blaze. Morrissey had a chance, and Nastjuk makes another good save, and the Blaze, I think, thought the play had gone a little safe, had gone a little dead, but Hotham recycles so well, and that's a phrase I've used a lot tonight, because Andrew Hotham really has been getting to pucks quick. On the wraparound, Nastjuk's natural movement is good, but it's not quick enough to get there and beat Hotham in a 3-2 game. But I don't know, I wonder whether the Blaze are thinking right now that our guy got thrown out of the game and your guy didn't, and they've lost Valorant for an injury on a play, and I can sense that Danny Stewart's going to be frustrated after this one.
That's Andrew Hotham's third goal in the Challenge Cup. He leads, or joint leads the Devils in that category, along with Drew Paris, the two defensemen. Then they continue on the power play, of course, as well, because it was a 5-minute major. Crowder there, just tried to saucer that one. Good work from Matt Pope to keep it in. And they get another chance. Lane Ulmer with a bit of room. 5-on-4 we are. Nice play inside. Shooting and scoring! It's Gleason Fournier. The Devils, another on the power play. They score and go 4-2 up.
The Devils are just looking increasingly calm on that power play. Joey Martin really orchestrating everything. Lovely pass to Fournier, stepping in from the blue line. And we know what a release Fournier's got. And Nastjuk really had no chance there. He's been so good tonight, but you wonder whether that penalty on Robinson might just change the game. The Devils now have a 2-goal spread. We know that the Blaze are missing some of their elite scorers. The Devils could really kill the game off right here in this remaining 2 minutes and 12 seconds of the penalty to Robinson.
Here's Dingle, just shoots and lasers that one over the top of Ben Bounds. That's Gleason Fournier's third goal in the Challenge Cup. So the Devils have 3 defensemen, all with 3 goals apiece, leading the offense for them in cup competition. Sean Bentivoglio, back to Andrew Hotham. Drew Paris is out there. Goodness me, there's a lot of offense. Paris back to Bentivoglio. Paris, a lot of room, shoots. Well blocked out front. Claus there it was. Another try, still there on the doorstep, but they just couldn't get through there. The big body of Claus helping out Nastjuk. Paris fires, deflected there off the skate of Myers. Myers is now the screen for the Devils. Ben Lake is doing a good job on the far side. 1:27 still left on this major power play. Andrew Hotham Cross-ice play, Benevolio steps in, loads of time, they score! Jake Morissette, the captain, 3 goals on the same power play. The Devils go 5-2 up.
The Devils have got their mojo and they're just taking this game away from the Coventry Blaze right now. Andrew Hotham has been absolute dynamite tonight. He was down low making plays, then he goes back to the blue line, takes a nice pass off Drew Parrish, as we're going to see a change of netminder. Hotham takes a nice pass off Drew Parrish. Lovely cross-seam, cross-ice pass there to Sean Benevolio. Benevolio would always rather pass first than shoot. He looks for Morissette. Lovely feed, Morissette with a one-touch finish, and the Devils have been dynamite on this power play and have probably taken this game away from the Coventry Blaze. As we have Danny Stewart, he's looking to call a timeout, and Danny Stewart right now is not a happy coach, and I gotta say, nothing taken away from the Cardiff Devils, who've shown immense quality, particularly on that power play, but I can understand some of the frustration behind Danny Stewart's mannerisms and emotions at the moment.
So that's Morissette's first Challenge Cup goal. And goodness me, he's just come alive, isn't he, recently? But you're absolutely right, John. And I wondered whether maybe that timeout should have been called before the 5th goal. It's easy to say in hindsight, of course, and in the emotion of the game, but you could just feel it coming, couldn't you? I
think so, and with so much on so much time left on that power play, I think Danny Stewart maybe needed to slow the game down and get his guys to regroup. Just on a side, nice story here. Unfortunate for the Blaze, they're in a position to have to change their netminder, but coming in now is number 37, Brython Priest, and Aled, you'll correct me on pronunciation if I get that wrong, because you are better than with the Welsh language than myself, but a young man born in Newport who played junior hockey for the Devils, went away to North America to get some great experience, and now is backup netminder learning his trade at the Blaze, and it's great to see him back in Cardiff.
Nothing like a Welshman butchering the Welsh language on a Welsh broadcast, John, but I commend
Cardiff
you on
Welshman,
your effort.
Anglicised Welshman.
Tipped out front, fine save there from Priest. What a nice moment for him coming in and stepping up big. And Brython Priest with the fine save there.
Thank you very much for that, Aled.
But that really, though, as a goaltender coming in relief, nice to get the puck early and make a fine save. Really.
Yeah, and again, I always talk about these UK players who go away to North America to get experience. I admire the confidence and the bravery to go away into a different climate and live with a different family and just try and master your game, and got a lot of respect for the young Welshman.
And he's a 6'5" goaltender as well, John. We're seeing a growing trend with goaltenders as Bounds just gets a hold of that one. He's a big goaltender himself, but it is a growing trend in goaltending, and he's certainly got the size, and we look forward to seeing what his acumen is as well. But it's obviously a lot thought of him to be able to go and play that junior career out in North America as well. 26 seconds, 25 now left on this extended power play for the Cardiff Devils. Wonder if they can get one more here. You feel as though the Blaze are just hanging on in there at the moment, but they're going to have to just throw everything at it now, really. They've got nothing to lose. They've got to win this one to even have a sniff of a chance, and we could see a little bit of exciting hockey, I think. Offside there, just as David Clements steps back on the ice, so we're back to 5-on-5.
Al, I actually wonder whether it'll go the other way, particularly if the Blaze don't score before the end of this period. They've got a game against the Nottingham Panthers tomorrow. Yeah, of course they want to qualify for the Challenge Cup, but with their elite scorers now sitting in the locker room and not on the bench, a Danny Stewart team will never give up. But I just wonder, particularly with the change of netminder, whether his thoughts will start thinking to tomorrow's game against the Nottingham Panthers.
Well, there we are. I was trying to sell the rest of this broadcast, John, but
they've already bought it. I don't care.
Corshade now looks for a lead pass. It's cut out by Andrew Lord, who the good news is he's back on the ice after that hit there. And coming in there is Mark Lewis with a big bump on Claus. That's 2 big bodies there. And again, I liked the little bit of enforcing that Lewis did after the hit on Lord. And that will certainly play well with the teammates and the head coach. Lewis there just after the play, a little bit of a slash on Dax Lowers there, and Priest will handle. That's good confident play from him, just to stick handle there, and the Devils won't be offside because out of the zone was Craig Moore. Drew Paris handles the puck, will just whip it in. Kicked by Andrew Otham then, and Matthew Myers has a hold of it, up against Jordan Petrus. And that one just gets ladled out of the zone. Here's Drew Paris out there with Andrew Otham. Of course, we get these different pairings with the 5-man system that the Devils are employing the last couple of games with those injuries, but it's got players on the ice more than perhaps they might have done when there were 6 out there, and I think they're enjoying that extra ice time and responsibility. And another factor is that power play has been a huge worry for Coach Lord early on in the season, but it's had a real chance to get going here, and if the Devils can get their power play going like they did last season, it was a huge factor in that title success.
But that second unit on the power play, that Crowder Morissette unit, those are players who have taken criticism early on this season. Not all of it fair or necessarily justified, but I think they've really given the Devils a good 1-2 punch on the power play now. And Paul Crowder, I just can't tell you how I'm impressed with him as a heads-up hockey player.
Looking a little tired out there of the Coventry Blaze now. The Devils just able to get a step ahead. Out front, they score! What a fine play out of the corner from Fournier. And look at that hand-eye coordination from Joey Martin. The Devils go 6-2.
Yeah, I wonder, Todd Kelman's over my shoulder, you know, just checking whether the puck actually maybe went in. I'm not sure whether we're getting a replay right away, Todd, but I thought it nestled in the top of the net before hitting the a part of the metal and coming out again. But absolutely right, what a great cross-crease pass from Gleason Fournier, and Joey Martin, who's really starting to find his feet and his confidence again, a league MVP, and it's a deft finish. We'll see if we can break this one down. Certainly there was no hesitation from referee Hicks or the goal judge.
Todd Kelman likes it. Andrew Lord, and absolutely nothing that Priest could have done about that, of course, other than be 11'5", perhaps. Andrew Lord with the puck now, gets it out front, fired in. It was blocked well out front in the end. Ben Lake with a good defensive duty. Away is Garrett Ladd, chipping that one in for Lake to chase. Fournier gets there first, but Ladd did very well indeed, and here they go. Now with Kevin Noble. Noble makes a play, and Claus will send it in, and can't find a way through, and away is Paul Crowder. Andrew Lord just dumps that one in. There's a loose stick there, a broken stick in the Blaze zone, and it's not in a particularly good position for either team, quite frankly.
Al, it seems weird to say, you know, that Joey Martin maybe need a little bit of a fill-up, a pick-me-up, because he's such a quality player. But it really did seem that whilst he was snake-bitten for a few games, it was affecting his mental game, and maybe he was gripping the stick a little bit tighter. He's really broken out in the last few games. He's got some goals on the board, and his overall game has come back to the high standard we've come to know and love in Cardiff.
Well, as the much-used phrase, form is temporary, class is permanent, and Joey Martin has been nothing but class in his time in the Elite League. And I don't think many people would argue that he's been consistently the league's best player over that time as well. Goodness me, has he shown it tonight. Bryce Reddick now at speed. Reddick looks to pull a move, and in the end it gets deflected up high into the netting, and he got taken down there. Nice defensive play. That Patterson there with a good play. And we get a face-off in the Blaze zone. 37 seconds left on the period. No, it was Dax Lowers.
Yeah,
again,
I was going to say,
physical play.
No, you've talked about Lowers tonight, and I think the guy's impressive. He looks mobile for a big guy. He's coming out of NCAA, but he can play a hard-nosed game. Around about 200 penalty minutes in 89 ECHL games, but he's mobile. He puts himself in shooting lanes. He blocks shots, and I think this guy could become a real role player for the Blaze. He also looks like he eats up a lot of minutes, and looks like a good pickup from Danny Stewart and James Pease.
Draw one by the Devils. Firing was Strachan there. Got that one all the way through, but Priest made a nice save and also covered up the puck. We get another face-off. Matthew Myers felt he was caught a little bit high there, but Lowers again with good body position on him. He's a real strong player. Bit of a face wash from Myers as well. Oh, and it got turned over. Myers out front. Fine save from Priest. They're still on the doorstep. Good defensive coverage play, and fanning on it there was Craig Moore. What a fine save, John, and good desperation play from the Blaze, even in this situation.
I think absolutely, and I don't think Moore fanned on that. I think that's a great stick lift from Ferrara there. It was a giveaway. Priest made an absolutely superb save. Fournier was going to get to that puck first, and it was denied. Moore was going to get to that puck, and Ferrara got in there with a great stick lift. So the one thing you can say about the Blaze, it's a 6-2 hockey game. It looks like they're going out of the Challenge Cup, but I really think perhaps a little different from last year. They've got far more character guys in their locker room, and that perhaps shown in their form in the league, where they're sitting much better than they were this time last year.
Yeah, 4th in the Elite League currently, the Coventry Blaze, and I think that conference system will just help them out a little bit as well as we get to the end of the second period, and a breakout period it was for the Cardiff Devils. 6-2 in the end, and it was 3 goals on the same power play, that major penalty against Brett Robertson, which just killed them off, and then a fine link-up play between Fournier and Martin that gave Priest in relief of Nastjuk no chance. Frankly, I'm astonished that you've...
Can I win the Jim Bowen motorboat from Bullseye, or here's what you would have won?
I'm astonished that you've advertised a rival broadcaster on this programme. And
I don't consider ITV a rival.
Here's what you would have won.
He was a Scouser, Jim Bowen, was he?
Well, I've got a sore throat, okay?
Apologies, guys at home. We're just filling time while we have ice issues again, and I wonder whether the teams would just be best served staying in the locker room until the clock absolutely ticks down, because this is getting very disruptive now to a team's preparation at the start of each period.
Yeah, and it is predictable now, actually, the last few weeks. So yeah, I think stay in the locker room, and I don't really know what the answer is, really, because it needs the players out there, I suppose, though, just to do a little bit of skating on it to help it settle. So oh well, everyone looks ready. We're clearly not. And we get ready. Jordan Petrus up against Joey Martin. It's a good battle again there. Petrus did well. A lot of personal pride there as well. 6-2 hockey game. And here come the Devils. Bentivoglio. It's going to creep out of the zone, though. So back with Joey Martin now. No players in the penalty box, other than, of course, Robertson in the changing room. And Valorant, sadly, had to leave the game as well.
That was a real difference maker. His speed was causing the Devils a lot of problems on that back end, and it's just a huge body blow to the Blaze. And they've continued to play hard, but you can't take away one of your most offensive weapons and it not have a significant effect on the game. And
no Paquette in the lineup either. You wonder whether there may have been some reprisal for what went on there with Valorant if he had been on the ice tonight. And of course, serving that suspension for the altercation midweek. And here's Paul Crowder anyway for the Cardiff Devils over the blue line. Mike Morissette goes to the net, shoots, fine save with the right pad there from Priest, and out of the zone it comes.
He looks good, Priest. He's been aggressive a couple of times, coming right to the top of that blue paint. It was a lovely feed from Crowder to Morissette. Morissette got a good shot away, but Priest was right there at the top of the semicircle, the top of the blue paint, being aggressive and just taking an angle away.
Here's Paul Crowder into the zone, wrestling his way in, but it's just too much from there. 2 or 3 Blaze players converged. Still there though, Gleason Fournier chips it in, well saved from Priest, who looks to be playing with a lot of confidence, as you say, John. He's doing all the right things. Nothing he could have done about that goal other than maybe a poke check on the way through. But he looks like command in his crease there. As I said, 6'5" goaltender. He's got a real presence.
Well, it's important with the, I guess, extinction of the EPL, and now you've got the NIHL, and you kind of want to, Ben Bounds is probably going to be #1 for GB for a while, but you need to have a development of British goalies coming through, and Priest could be a good guy to have on that conveyor belt playing Elite League minutes.
Mark Lewis stepped in, and is he playing on defence now, Mark Lewis? He certainly seems to be, so we'll keep an eye on that and how the land ends up lying for the Cardiff Devils. Yeah, Myers out there with Ulmer and Batch up front, and it is Lane Ulmer will chase that one now. So Fournier and Lewis together. That's a pairing we always like in the gantry here as well. With the puck now is Kevin Noble. He gets bumped by Josh Batch, and he goes down there and, well, blasted in there. Still a chance over. Priest is down. Fine save with the right pad. Puck still loose. They score! Lane Ulmer dug away and makes it 7-2 Devils.
Well, Priest just needed a little bit of help there from his teammates. He made a couple of good saves, but the Devils just wanted to get to that puck quicker, and Lane Ulmer gets the final touch. I think Josh Batch actually does a lot of work in front of the net. Again, recycling the puck, as we see the Devils with a goalie change now, and Thomas Murdy's going to come on and play the remaining 17 minutes and 39 seconds of this game. But when we do see that replay, the Devils just wanted that puck more, and that desire is there again tonight, as it was last weekend against the Nottingham Panthers. That was perhaps missing in domestic competition before that. And I continue just to talk about Josh Batch and the presence and impact he's having as a power forward, and credit to Lane Ulmer. He stayed with that play as well and just managed to get a little tickle on that puck, and it found its way to the back of the net.
That's Lane Ulmer's first Challenge Cup goal this campaign, and Josh Batch will get an assist on it, as does Mark Lewis. So there we go. And as you say, John, Priest just needed a little bit of help there. I felt made the second up save was a real fine save. He was already down, but he kicked the right pad out. But it was that third try, and really, you can't afford to be giving any team 3 opportunities on the doorstep consecutively like that.
No, and that's to take nothing away from the character of this Blaze team tonight. When you've got that young netminder in there, yeah, you might be a little bit demoralised. You're going out of the Challenge Cup, but you got to play for that guy because he's playing for you right now. So I'm sure it was just a momentary lapse, but the netminder could have done with a little bit more support.
Piggott is out there with Crowder and Moore. That one got flung out in front of Priest, but it was a Blaze stick that got on the end of it. Good work, and it was by Wojtek Kloss, who jumps into the play now, then loses out to Andrew Hoffman. We get a little bump there along the boards from Piggott and Petrus, and Murdy gets his first touch of the puck, and what a confident touch it was. Well, good to see the two backup goalies in net now, and good to get that game time as well. Murdy's just been stellar in relief of Bounds last season and this season again. He's won key games, and Bounds says those games that when he was injured last year that Murdy came in and won a series of games for the Devils, one of the big difference makers in them winning that title, that league championship last season. Here it is. Strachan will just pitchfork that one in really, and Priest handled it. Now it's with Bentivolio back out front. Fine save! What a save from Priest there, as he just robbed Matt Pope.
Wow, we've got to see a replay of that. Stand up, young man. That is an absolutely stellar save from Priest. Bentivolio does very well behind the net to force a turnover. It's a lovely backhand pass right into the wheelhouse of Pope, and Pope lets it go with everything. But Priest, just his reach there, his flexibility. He looks like a very calm netminder for someone of such a young age.
Look at that for a bump over the far side. That was Andrew Lord. He's been physical tonight, hasn't he, John, as well? Put the hit in on Dax Lowers there. Paris did enough, and here is Andrew Lord. Just makes a chip play out, really. Sort of, he was shoveling some leaves off his driveway out front. We get a little chat there as well. Lowers, there we go. There's the cross-check on Crowder. Crowder will get into people's skin, won't he, John? And I can't see him dropping the gloves, and Lowers probably can't afford to. Although at the 7-2 game, you never know. We could maybe see it now.
But I like the response from Lowers. He took a heavy hit from Lord. It was a good hit from Lord. And, you know, he hasn't gone to hide. He's at the end of his shift, but he still wants to be physical. And again, I think he can be a team leader for the Blaze. But yeah, absolutely. Andrew Lord has been on a mission for the Devils the last kind of 30 minutes, and Paul Crowder is an all-round sort of player. He's a stick handler, he's a penalty killer, he's an agitator.
Well, Crowder in the last couple of weeks, he sort of skates around the place with a demeanour and a facial expression that sort of makes you want to punch him, quite frankly, John. And I mean that as a real compliment. He's oh well, that wasn't a good hit, and we are going to see. Well, are we going to see a call? A little bit of six. Well, Matthew Myers it was who followed through there, and it's Kevin Noble who's down again. It was a nasty tangle, John. Again, like with the Robinson hit, I don't think there was intent to injure there. It all went a bit wrong. There was no call initially on the play, and it was I do have to say the arm motion from Noble there initially was a little theatrical.
Well, I think Myers has taken his kind of standing blade leg away. Noble's made a little bit of a move when Myers goes to finish that hit. And Myers does take his leg away, so perhaps it could have been a tripping call on that play.
Yeah, that's not to say that there wasn't a penalty there potentially initially, but well, I suppose we'll get a look at the replay and make a judgment call. I suppose if Myers doesn't move his skating leg and then bump comes in from Batch again, then maybe there is no call to be made on Matthew Myers. If it was more so Kevin Noble moving out the way, but we'd probably need a second look just to finalise our opinion on that, John.
Yeah, and I say again, you know, my opinion of Kevin Noble, he's a great team guy, he eats up a lot of minutes, particularly on the penalty kill, fearless shot blocker, but you know, I didn't particularly like the embellishment in the the second period, and that perhaps continued there.
Oh, we'll come to that now. We'll just call this play here, John. We've just been seeing some interesting information, and we'll just wait for the play to expire here in front of our eyes. And it's Matthew Myers who just lost out there to Garrett Ladd. He's up on the wing. He'll just dump that one in, and Tom Murdy will just handle the puck, do well there. Clements will put a nice bump in on Fournier, but Fournier was strong, and away come the Devils. Josh Batch lost out, and Jordan Petrus makes a nice heads-up play to David Clements. Winding up was Clements, into the netting it goes, and maybe a bit more work for the newly formed Dops, John, as we see that Sebastian Silvestre of Belfast has been given a match for headbutting. Yeah, I wasn't sure when Todd Kelman came over with the laptop then, whether that was exasperation, frustration, a little bit of gallows humour, as we see this replay here before we go back to that. Yeah, the stick's in there a little bit. I think that could have been a tripping call. But yeah, Todd Kelman shows us the game sheet at Belfast. Match penalty for headbutting. And we haven't seen that, I think, since Andrew Conboy in the pre-season game for the Cardiff Devils a few years ago. That's really what the Elite League board wanted the weekend after the shenanigans of this week, a headbutting penalty to review. So and you've got to feel as well, not that perhaps it should come into play, but Silvestre might feel the full force of the law on that one. It certainly won't be... well, it won't be one game. It certainly won't be one game. That one gets fired through. It handcuffed Murdy a little bit, but his positioning was good there, and he fed that one wide. Yes, it's going to be at least the tariff that you would expect, I'm sure, and maybe it'll lean on a fairly harsher side of that as well. Good choice there to do that. Yeah, not a great weekend to lead with the head. Is any. Here they go. Ryan Dingle, that's, well, goodness me, that was wide of the net. Through it goes again, and may have hit a second goal, had there been one there. It's there now, though, as Claus will just send that one in. That's good work from Dingle. He tried to feed it out front, and this is a good pushback from the Blaze. I like to see this, showing their coach that it means something to them to put in a performance. They do have to consider tomorrow, of course, with the game gone from them now. Good save from Murdy. Offside is the call, though, because it was a shot, so it'll come all the way back down to the Coventry Blaze zone.
Okay, folks, there's your 50-50 winning number up on screen now. 165.
John, have you ever headbutted anyone?
165.
Not intentionally. this isn't a story anyone wants to hear, but yeah, around about 6 months ago, a little bit of...
I thought this was a dead-end question.
No, it was in my sleep, and I managed to headbutt my wife as I rolled over and gave her a little bit of...
At least that's the public story. Oh, what a save it was! And goodness me, John, she must have been upset with that.
Not as upset as her wedding day.
Oh, we got another bump there along the boards. That was Ladd involved this time with Mark Lewis, who's... Oh no, he's still on defence, is Mark Lewis, so the Devils just playing a bit more conservatively now. They've got a long trip to Fife tomorrow, of course. I'm not sure if they're flying or going on the bus, and of course they had that win in Dundee when they took the bus up there, didn't they, earlier on in the season, where they needed a performance, and they won up in Dundee, and usually they do fly to Scotland, but I wonder whether that formula worked for them. Here's Lane Ulmer. Sent it out front, and back it goes now to Bryce Reddick. Reddick tips it in off Lane Ulmer's stick, and Ulmer goes back to Reddick. Round to Josh Batch. Batch gets it around the boards. I almost got it back there, but that was a good stick from Kevin Noble, and the puck will come out of the zone. Ulmer now with Myers, and Myers will just careen that one around the boards. Over to Josh Batch, who's getting involved in a lot of plays here and really helping the Devils tick in the offensive zone. And he's breaking up a lot of plays from the Blaze as well as they try and exit the zone. He's been a real nuisance there, spoiling the play.
I think he's had an excellent game. I think Andrew Hotham has been real standout tonight, but Josh Batch hasn't been far behind him. And the Devils look like they are starting to find some form, and that's got to be ominous for the rest of the league.
Oh, no call on the play. More of a push for me, that, from Noble, but referee Hicks lets it go, and it's a little push back as well. Anyway, the shot is fired in from Ross Venus, and away comes Drew Parris. Now Luke Piggott looks to pull a move, but it was Gustav Onalav who just did a good job there.
Paul Sullivan actually just whispered in my ear, because that major penalty in the second period obviously doesn't expire when a goal is scored. Devils' power play stats tonight apparently are 4 for 2.
There we go. Well, it helps the overall stats as well, doesn't it? Onalav sends that one in. It was cut out, and maybe Pope is away here, but that's a good coverage play from Onalav, and he has the puck again now. Sean Bentivoglio will track him. Joey Martin was there too, but out it comes with Luke Ferrara. Just got turned over though, and we're just seeing a little bit of... well, it's not the most exciting hockey, quite frankly, John. I think we would lose any credibility we have as commentators if we said otherwise. But here's Paul Crowder anyway. Crowder makes a nice play. He lost out in the end though, and away come the Coventry Blaze again. Lead pass is there. A nice chip play then from Ben Lake, sending Ferrara in at speed. Lake has it back. It caught the stick of, or the skate even, of David Clements, and now here's Galen Patterson. Patterson goes to the point. Noble with a blast, tipped out front, still there for the Blaze. Can they find a way through? No, Murdy stood tall, and the whistle comes.
Great compete level from Murdy there to find that puck, and again he was aggressive and came out to the top of the blue paint, and the Blaze are still trying to push, they're still trying to show character. I agree with you, Al, that maybe both teams are looking at future battles. The Blaze at home in the Sky Dome against the Panthers tomorrow, the Devils in Fife, but I still think the Devils are trying to play with a level of intensity that, I know, maybe a 7-2 game dictates, and I think that's because you can't just turn form on and off, and the Devils have only really played last weekend's game against the Panthers recently in fine style.
Noble through, it was deflected by Petrus out front. Good pushback here from the Blaze, and the Devils will get a chance to clear now. Josh Batch gets it round the boards. Matthew Myers now will take a bump. Sorry, it's Drew Parris there. Now Josh Batch. Batch with a nice play, and he gets it back there. The stick was lost momentarily from Noble, but he has it back now. And now Lane Ulmer. Ulmer. Good work there from Garrett Ladd, but he's got the physicality of Batch to contend with, and Ulmer is a big body too. There's a nice bit of compete going on here up against the boards. In comes Noble, and he's down on the ice again, and Batch just fell on top of him, and Noble doesn't like it. Oh my goodness, and we're going to see a few glove punches thrown on the floor by Josh Batch. John?
Yeah, Batch is probably going to go, but that's Batch's role now, and he's been good all night, and Kevin Noble's maybe been making himself a little bit of a nuisance, and Batch feels it's an opportunity to step up, but they are glove punch on the floor, so I suspect Batch will probably go for excessive roughing. But I don't know, is it a silly penalty from Josh Batch, or are you just going to say, okay, Josh, you kind of understand your role on the team now, that's a good one to take?
As long as he doesn't get a match, it probably isn't a silly penalty, I suppose. With the game done, it's that was a bit of something or nothing, really. Noble must have done something on the floor that he didn't like, because he's not particularly hot-headed, is Josh Batch usually, and
no,
it's normally quite calculated.
It is. I wonder if he's sending a message. I think Andrew Lord is trying to get Josh Batch to not always have to be provoked in order to play as a power forward, and I think that's Josh Batch. Maybe he hasn't quite done it in the right way, and I suspect he's been thrown out of the game, but I think that's Josh Batch. I take that maybe as a good sign that he's starting to learn that he has to influence the game as a power forward, and he has to be a policeman for the Cardiff Devils. So maybe that's just another step in his development. But, you know, you don't want to see guys getting glove punched on the ice, so the right penalty for me here would be to throw Batch out of the game. Yeah,
it'd be nice to see a replay as well, just so we can assess it, I suppose, fully where the punches were as well, whether they were to the head or to the chest or whatever. It was, again, in the... Well, there we are. It's a major penalty on Batch. Noble's going to take 2 minutes as well. You can see on your screen. Yeah, replay be fab, guys, if that's possible. Here we go, John.
Yeah, so he threw that elbow a little. There was a little high elbow there from Noble on the hit, and Batch didn't like it. And Noble's known as an agitator, and I like him for that. But yeah, I think Batch just possibly reacted to a little bit of a high elbow there from Kevin Noble. But Danny Stewart is not happy.
There we go, 2 minutes for roughing for Noble, 5+ game misconduct for roughing for Batch.
Oh, wait to see whether that one's reviewed. I imagine there might be 67 different incidents reviewed this weekend with DOPS, the Elite League, tightening up on things. But I say again, in terms of Josh Batch's development as a power forward and being perhaps the policeman of this team, yeah, I don't mind that so much.
I'll tell you what, earlier, John, before we had that melee on the ice, these stewards who hand out the free pizzas, they must feel like rock stars, mustn't they? Just getting some of the biggest cheers of the night. They parade up and down the steps with the adoring fans. Must be quite cool.
Absolutely. Very much like you parade through the bar after the game. You insist on doing this walkthrough.
Yes. Well, you've tucked me up there, John. And even if I say now that it's you that insists, nobody's going to believe me.
And why should they?
So we're going to go, what do we got here? 4-on-4 for a couple of minutes. And then the Blaze will go to a power play if there's no further penalties. On Love will send that one out. Cut out well by Gleeson Fournier. And here's Jake Morissette. Morissette over the blue line. He's got a bit of company there. A little bump from Honor Love. And over the far side, Dax Lowers puts a nice play in and helps the Blaze get out of the zone. Gleeson Fournier now, D-to-D with Mark Lewis. Fournier will step through the neutral zone and gets a bit of a head of speed up. We'll just push that one in. And he doesn't like that either from Lowers there. And they have a big battle on the boards. There's a little bit of needle here, John, and I quite like it, because I think when these two teams are at full strength in a game that perhaps is a little bit more competitive, we're going to see one or two fireworks.
And again, it's Lowers. I like the fact he plays with an edge. He's not taking penalties, but he's letting Devils players know he's around, and impressed with his overall performance for the Blaze this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good pickup. Claus did well there as well with the long stick, and that's going to be an icing though. That was just a bit of miscommunication, so we'll come all the way back. We've got 50 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey, pending no further penalties.
Just to go back to my point a few moments ago, yes, of course, the pace has dropped off. It's a 7-2 game, but I think the Devils are still showing a commitment and an intensity that maybe almost they don't need to at this stage, but I think, you know, they're starting to learn the message that you can't just turn form on and off, and they have put a good 60 minutes together against the Nottingham Panthers last weekend. Looks like they're putting a pretty solid 60 minutes together against the Coventry Blaze this weekend, and it's nice to see the Devils trying to always lead with that intensity now.
Andrew Hotham looking to make something happen here and dances his way around, goes back to Ulmer in the end, who just saucered it through really for Bryce Reddick. It came to nothing. 35 seconds left, 4-on-4. Bryce Reddick with a nice play. Time and space there for Hotham, who shoots. Good save from Priest again, and Hotham is not an easy man to stop from that position when he's got time. But he's got it again now. 1-0. Ulmer on goal. Shoots. Fine save. What a save again from Priest, standing tall against Lane Ulmer.
Yeah, the 18-year-old from Newport has just robbed Lane Ulmer and made it look like picking cherries. He just looks so calm in net. He's not moved around, and just a moment ago you said Andrew Hotham tried to freeze him with a little stop-go play, but he read it. He didn't overcommit. He made a good save and a fine save off the breakaway. I'm looking forward to seeing his glove save again off Matt Pope a little earlier in this period. This kid looks like he could be for real.
Yeah, he didn't just turn up with the minivan there, John. He brought the whole HGV and took everything from Lane Ulmer, kitchen sink included. Here's Paul Crowder now, over the line he goes. That's good work from Garrett Ladd, and then a bump again from Dax Lowers. You almost don't need to look at the number anymore. You see the play and you can pretty much assume it's Lowers, and most of the time it will be.
And what was that, Al? One shift off for him. He's eating up a lot of ice time, but he still looks strong. He still looks mobile. I don't know whether he will get the beers at the end of the game, because Todd Kalman seldom listens to us, and rightly so, but he'd certainly be my nomination.
There we go. So power play time anyway for the Blaze now after that major penalty to Batch. Here it is for Petrus. Shoots. Good save then at the other end from Thomas Murdy, and good to see Priest and Murdy both pulling out a few nice saves.
It's always good when you see a GB star playing well, and Priest and Murdy. You know, this is the next generation of British netminders. Of course, Ben Bound's, only 25, 26. He could have another 10 years left in him, but he's got to have support, and you can't just have one netminder to ride through major tournaments and Olympic qualifying and what have you. So great to see two promising British netminders on the ice right now.
So the Blaze will go to work with Corshane. He gets it back to the point where Wojtek Claus waits, and now it's with Ryan Dingle. Ryan Dingle with a good hands there. Got that one back to Corshane. Corshane now looking heads up while the Blaze try and make something work here on the power play. It's fired in by Dingle, but Petrus, but it just caught a Devil skating the way through. Bedivolio, and he's the one chasing the puck now.
Corshane has kind of run out of line mates to feed, because he looks like a playmaker, but you can tell he's got that vision. He can make some very nice passes. He's a good heads-up player. So tonight's not been his night, perhaps, but I look forward to seeing him in Cardiff a few more times this season.
Ladd got that one in deep to Ryan Dingle up against Andrew Hotham. Did enough there. 1:35 left on this Blaze power play. Oh my goodness, what a save though again. Priest there, and how hard is that save to make, because Noble there just got that puck taken away from him, but Priest was alive to the play and just didn't expect or anticipate that it would be moved out of the zone. He stayed ready and he made a fine save.
Well, it's the speed at which he almost goes down in the butterfly and gets that pad on the ice, because he's not expecting the turnover, and Morissette moves that puck and gets the shot away quickly, but Priest has already got down quickly, anchored his pad to the ice, and just takes away all that room, and he just continues to impress with the saves he's making.
Noble leads the play out of the Blaze zone. It's with Ben Lake now. Lake sends that one in. Ferrara will chase after that puck. Hacked and whacked away at by Bryce Reddick. 1:08 left on the power play. Look at that feed there from Crowder. It was just out of the reach in the end, and Luke Pickett's getting a bit of time killing some penalties here. And why not? 50 seconds left on this power play, but it just feels like it's just all a bit too much now for the Blaze. The time, the score line, very difficult situation. Obviously knowing they have a big game tomorrow as well. Here's Claus through the neutral zone, and he handles the puck so well. He's a big man, but he can really provide some offense, and it's been a good pickup for Danny Stewart.
As I said earlier, I can understand there might be a little bit of unhappiness in the Blaze camp tonight, and some of it will be justified. But the Devils earlier in the season wouldn't have been as clinical on that power play and wouldn't have taken the game away from the Blaze. They still needed to produce on that power play, and tonight it really did look phenomenal. They've got two good units going right now. Joey Martin has come back to form, and I've spoken at length tonight about Paul Crowder, his increasing impact on this Devils team, and on the power play, I think he shows some lovely vision and really links up well with his teammates.
Craig Moore it was who was sitting in the box on behalf of Josh Batch, and he's on the ice now and will chase that puck. Piggott took a hit from Claus, that Moore returns the favour then on Dax Lowers. Good work from Claus there. Is really going to be a figurehead for the Blaze this season. You can see on the back end. Now there for Mark Lewis. Lewis will just send it in, and chasing is Craig Moore up against Claus, and Claus did well, and Clements will just saucer it in. Now it's there for Patterson. Looking to go out front was Jordan Petrus. The Devils got there and cleared the puck all the way down. No icing, so Priest will have to play it, and well, he did enough in the end. Matt Pope it was who skidded that one in, and the Blaze got there first though, and that one just gets hooped out of the zone for Gleeson Fournier. So it's an icing, and with 2:30 or thereabouts left, the clock is the same, so 2:32 to be precise, John.
Yeah, I think both sets of players now would be happy for this clock to tick down as quickly as possible, and the Devils have done their job. They've been professional. The Challenge Cup campaign started badly, but it looks as though they've got themselves out of a scrape, a tight position. And I say for the Blaze, perhaps a little bit unfortunate tonight, and the Challenge Cup has gone for them. But I do think they have characters in this team that can carry them forward this season.
Here they go with Corshane. Corshane will just pitch that one in, and it's Gleeson Fournier who gets there. That's a good battle again from Ladd. I like his work ethic. It was out front there. Dingle couldn't get a hold of it in front of... Oh, what a big hit. Gleeson Fournier just flattened Ryan Dingle. And it's interesting to see that play with just 2 minutes left in a game which is all said and done. And well, I don't know how the Blaze will take to that, quite frankly, John.
Well, I think the Blaze just don't have the bodies necessarily to respond, but I imagine the number will be taken, and these games are going to be feisty this year, and it's been good entertainment. Yeah,
it was a clean hit, but it's not the sort of play you normally see in a game that's all but done. And Gleeson Fournier, with Mark Lewis now, smashed that one in, and it was well saved there. Hit the mask of Priest, but he stood tall. And Gleeson Fournier is, for mine, he's one of the hardest hitters in the league. I know it's not something that most people associate with Fournier. One of the most skilled players as well, but goodness me, he throws a heavy hit.
I agree with you completely. Very underrated. You know, for long-standing Devils fans, go back to someone like Doug McEwen. Doug McEwen was a finesse player and scored a lot of beautiful goals. But what people didn't realize, he was one of the best checkers in the game, and if he laid a hit on you, he would stop you in your tracks. And Gleeson Fournier is the same, and I guess it's all about skating ability. We know he's got that superb skating ability, so how he can line himself up for a hit and how he sort of launches into it. Yeah, Gleeson Fournier, when he wants to lay a hit, he's one of the cleanest hitters and hardest hitters in the league.
And won the skating competition here, didn't he, at the Mark Richardson testimonial as well. And he looked like he was coasting a little bit, John, and he still blew everyone else out of the water. Ferrara backhanded that one in. Petrus there, just take a nudge from Mark Lewis. Matthew Myers, good outlet there to Jake Morissette. The Devils can go 3-on-2 here, and Strachan jumps into the play, he wants it. Lord, though, couldn't find him. That's a nice defensive play from Corshane. And away is Ferrara. Into the death throes of this one now. Out front, though, looking to work there was Ferrara. That's nice from him. But the Devils will get out of the zone, and chasing that one is Luke Piggott.
Yeah, he's got 200 NHL games. Tyson Strachan is just a no-frills defenseman, though. A play not noticed then. The Blaze could have had a scoring chance. Just gets its stick in the way, the body in the way, and he shuts down the passing lane. He's never going to score a dipsy-doodle goal or dingle-dangle, but he's going to make a lot of solid plays.
Here's Galen Patterson now. Shoots it in, and it's covered by Murdy, so we will get another 15 seconds of play. And as we crawl our way to the finish line, John.
Well, for 40 minutes, this was an intense, enjoyable game. In this third period, both teams have still shown character and wanted to play, but the game had really gone. And the turning point, well, there are two turning points in this game. The Valorant injury and the Robinson penalty. And I think the Blaze can feel a little hard done by about one, not so the other. But for the Devils, they've been clinical, and they continue to block by block, step by step, improve their form, and two good performances in a row now.
Petrus there just whips that one in on Murdy, who made a nice save. 5 seconds left, it's sent in there by Lowers, and that one will just about do it as it goes in the corner. And the Cardiff Devils, defending Challenge Cup champions, they didn't make it easy, John, but in the end, just like last year, they find a way through out of the group. And this is where it all begins for them in their quest to defend the Challenge Cup, which of course they won here at Ice Arena Wales, and the final will be here in this building again. In the end, a fine win against the Coventry Blaze, who started with real fire here, and there was a really good battle in the first period, but that major on Brett Robertson, the Devils scored 3 power play goals following that play, and that really was it. The Devils ran out 7-2 winners in the end.
And now we've spoken about the Blaze being short-benched, and yes, of course they are, but for the last 2 games, the Devils have been missing Patrick Asselin, Joey Haddad, Justin Farina, Mark Richardson, and they've produced 2 outstanding performances. This Cardiff Devils team is starting to motor. It's been a sticky start to the season. I think everybody understands that. None more so than the owners, Todd Kelman and Andrew Lord. But in the last 2 games, we have seen the potential in domestic competition of this Cardiff Devils team. If they continue with the 60-minute performances we saw against the Nottingham Panthers and again tonight, well, they're going to cut, as we see some incidents at the bench here. Andrew Lord and Danny Stewart. Well, this is going to be an interesting post-game.
I'm assuming that happened at the handshake. But Howard was on the footage, so my apologies. I was looking at the other end of the ice. We're still getting a conflab here. And, well, we thought there might be a rivalry developing this season. I think this has pretty much confirmed that for us, John.
A maturity there for Luke Piggott, of course, in an assistant coach's role this year, taking his players away. I kind of like the passion from Danny Stewart. I love the passion from Andrew Lord. You know, Danny Stewart is showing his team he's there. He's stand up to be counted. He's obviously been unhappy with a few things. And Andrew Lord, he's not going to back down in a battle. So looking forward to these games this season. But yeah, just to finish on the Cardiff Devils.
I was just going to say, John, just ask, can we see that again if we can get a... We can't. Okay.
But the Devils are starting to find a little bit of form now, and that's good to see. And maybe they're just putting the rest of the Elite League on a little bit of notice that as defending champions in 3 competitions, they're not going to go lightly.
David Clements picks up the man of the match for Coventry Blaze. I actually think there were a number of candidates, and that's not the usual thing you hear in a 7-2 loss. But I think as we said, I thought Dax Lowers was strong on defence. Wojtek Klaus put in a lot of minutes back there. He's going to be a valuable asset for Danny Stewart. And I thought there was a lot of good work done as well. Garrett Ladd, I thought, hustled really well from the 1st to the 60th minute.
I think this is a character team this year. You can throw Jordan Petrus into that mix. He plays as Petrus always does. He didn't stop for 16 minutes and he tried to lead his team. So they just really ran out of scoring threats, I think. But led by their coach, certainly there's no question about the character of this team this year. And they gave the Devils a lot to handle for 40 minutes. But the Devils are starting to find their form, and they were clinical on that power play. And the Devils, this season haven't necessarily been clinical. So you've got to give them a compliment. Coming off the slump in form, the 4-0 defeat to Sheffield last Saturday night, this Cardiff Devils team, the defending champions in the league and the Challenge Cup, have responded with 2 very strong performances.
And we just saw the appearance of the Gareth Hewish big check. And now we're going to get the shirt of his back. And it's the captain's, Jake Morissette, as well. Another goal tonight, John. And in some ways, these injuries have just given maybe a little bit more ice time to 1 or 2 players who maybe needed it. And the Devils may end up all the stronger for it when those players come back in, because they've got a few players going here who've had a bit more ice time.
I completely agree with that. And to give a little tip of the hat to our colleague Gareth Hewish, he said last week about Lord and Morissette going back together before the Nottingham game, because there's a comfort level there, and I would entirely agree with that. I think Morissette and Lord just bring the best out of each other.
It is Joey Martin who picks up the man of the match for the Cardiff Devils. 2 goals, 1 assist. He's really got those wheels spinning now, John Martin, and that's bad news for the other 11 teams in the Elite League.
Well, if the Devils are stacked with quality, but we know if Bounds, Hotham and Martin are going, the Cardiff Devils are going, and Andrew Hotham has been superb the last few weeks, and Joey Martin is just finding that same standard, the high standard he always sets. His work rate is forever without question, but now we're seeing that end product, and he just looks to be relaxed there on the ice. The Devils are looking good.
So that just leaves us to thank you very much indeed for joining us for Hockey Night in Cardiff live on Icetime TV. The Devils are through to the knockout stages of the Challenge Cup. They're defending champions. They want to get back here to Ice Arena Wales to have another crack at defending a championship, which means an awful lot to this club, actually, which sparked the resurgence, really, when the new ownership took over and they had that famous win up in Sheffield 3 years ago. But for now, from myself, Aled Lloyd, my colleague John Donovan, and all the guys here bringing you this broadcast tonight, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week when the Cardiff Devils will take on the Belfast Giants for, will they? I think they will.
Is it not the Sheffield Steelers on Saturday night?
Sheffield Steelers, John. They take on the Sheffield Steelers. We'll see you next week when the Cardiff Devils take on the Sheffield Steelers. I'm ill, okay? Give me a break. But for now, no stop.